For as long as I remember, I've never given life or death too much thought. But where do all our hopes go? What about the heartbreak, the sadness and the joy? Our unrelenting spirits, the ones here and the ones who moved on, can't help but wonder, is there something more? By the time I feel the night is fading, a voice whispers from beyond, "Kid, dream on, we're almost home."
Hello, my name is Pere Ibañez. I'm a visual artist from Barcelona, Spain, and since 2007 I have my studio in Beijing, China, where I do most of my work. Today I'm going to be sharing with you some of the insights behind the creation of my new collection, Dream On, We're Almost Home.
Don't worry, yes I know you're mad because I'm on my own. It won't last, it won't grow, so I go and walk alone. So follow the rhythm, follow the heart. You know when to worry or when not to start. So if I ever wonder where I should go, I will always follow, will follow you.
Dream On, We're Almost Home is my 7th series and book. Everything started in 2009 with my first collection, Enemy, which, well, since then it's been such a ride, oh my God. I got to, have exhibitions all around the world, from North America to Japan, India. I mean, I feel really lucky. And more importantly, I got to meet lots of people from very different backgrounds, If I had to choose some moments that stand out in these years, that will be, well, in 2012, I got to work with a Canadian NGO in a domestic violence campaign. That was hard because the topic was hard, but the people I worked with were fantastic, and I had very strong memories from that time. I mean, I learned a lot, from real victims of domestic violence and, their stories, their struggle. That was life-changing. And more recently, I worked with a Chinese NGO, Candlex, on a bipolar disorder awareness campaign. And that experience was very different. That experience was really, really fun, I have to say. Mostly because it was the first time that I didn't get to choose the models. They were chosen, selected by the NGO. So every photo shoot, I got to meet someone new. And I have to say that they did such a good job. And it was such fun to work with all these new people. It was really, really a good experience. I still got to put some of my models in the collection. I got my mother there, but mostly was organized by the NGO. It was really fun. My last 2 books are different. They are the 2 that are different from the rest because they're way more personal. The last one was about my father, about his life, and the new one is, about my experience with dealing with grief and loss. So, the style is different. They have changed.
Dreams are funny sometimes. They can go either way, and sometimes they just get it right. They take you to places you don't want to forget, and yet not ready to go back. They fill your soul, cracking everything inside, and as much as it hurts, you don't want to let go because you know dreams don't last. And here I am, it's like looking through a stained glass window while the storm is raging outside. I can feel it for a while, your essence, your smell, and even your touch. But for a fleeting moment, it almost felt right. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. Oh, I know, mine almost died.
I studied film in Barcelona, and film, photography, they're directly connected, and I guess that shaped the way that I do my work today, because if I think about it, I set up the photo shoots the same way you will set up a scene or a sequence in a film, the way I put the lights, I do the makeup, the way I prepare the model, it did completely change the way I'm doing things today. Why I decided ultimately photography instead of film? Well, look, when I was a student, I did my own short films and I participated in my classmates' short films, and that was such a great experience. I have very fond memories of that. But there was something that wasn't completely there for me, and probably was that, when you have a group of people working together, it's such a beautiful thing because it's a group effort, but it can also bring frustration because maybe what you have in mind and what you really end up doing, is very different. That's something that in photography doesn't necessarily happen. I feel like I'm more in control, and that's because I am in control, I prepare the lights myself, I do the makeup myself. Sometimes I have assistants, but same thing. It's my ideas, and there's still, always some intrusion. We have or influence. We always have agencies, galleries, etc. There's some influence, but it's minimum. So the result is way closer to what you had in mind. Well, imagine that even in my art books, I design the pages, I design the cover, so I get out exactly what I want to get out, for better or worse. It's just really what I want to do. So I feel more fulfilled, more satisfied with the outcome. Well, it's not like something new that I did for this series. I mean, I've been making videos for my last two collections too. From CCG, I was doing videos for some photos, so I wasn't doing it very seriously. I was doing sometimes for some pictures, maybe for an exhibition. But with Dream On, We're Almost Home, I don't know, I kind of felt that it was one way to expand onto the theme and to let the viewer understand better the meaning behind the pictures. So I just gave them some movement, music and footage, just that go with the theme and pass the feeling across, better. You have to understand that I did study filmmaking, so, video is part of my visual language. So probably in the future I will continue and further explore this part of my work.
Does it really matter what I say? Or have you made your mind up anyway? Does it really matter if I stay? You already moved on anyway. When I look into your eyes, I see the truth. Spare me all the lies I know. Does it really matter if I change? Do we always end up in this lane? Does it really matter how I feel? I just can't get through you. Heart is steel.
Well, the creation process behind Dream On, We're Almost Home is completely different from how I used to work. It is similar to the way I worked for my father's book, my last book, Pedro, but very different from what I did before. For one, there were almost no photo shoots. I was on lockdown, I couldn't go anywhere or barely, and models couldn't come to my studio. So I think overall in this collection, I got only 2 or 3 photo shoots with real people. From the whole series, only 2 or 3. So I had to find, alternatives to keep working. And what I did is I asked my friends and family members to give me pictures of them as children. So I will scan them, and then I will put them into other pictures that I took, fishes, mountain view, etc. And when it's all the layers together, I will paint them over digitally until they were seamless, so they all become one piece. This way of working was a learning experience. It was fun to do, but at the same time, it was way lonelier because you're missing the interaction with people when you're working. So I don't think it's something I will do in the future. If I can have people, taking the pictures with me, I'd rather do that because it's way more exciting and more interesting. But it was still a good experience, you know. It was like a lot of inner process and a lot of thinking. So that was it. Okay, that's a question that I get a lot. It's not like I decided, like consciously to change what I was doing or the style. It just happened. My work has been constantly evolving. My first works were very colorful, and then I started to do like black and white pictures. I was planning to continue on that path of the black and white photos, keep evolving on that path. But, things happen, and life happens. So after the passing of my father and the pandemic and, all of it, I started doing these works. They just change. It wasn't a decision, real decision. I just started working and they started coming out this way. I made one work, it looked like this, and I did another one, it also looked like this. And I just follow it. Normally I follow my intuition, so I just went with it. And I felt very comfortable with it. Anyway, I think that if you take my first pictures and the new ones and you put them next to each other, as different as they are, they still share DNA. Like some of the elements, the visual language is still there, it's kind of the same. I don't think they really have changed that much. Not really, not in essence. And about doing dark stuff again, I don't believe I stopped. It just stopped being my main focus in any case, but I kept doing it. In fact, recently I worked with the North American band Sleepwalker Funeral, and I did the cover for their new album. And it was so much fun. I love it. I love doing dark pictures. That's me. That's still me. I still like to do that. And will I do it again? Of course. Yeah, I will. It's just maybe this moment in my life is not what I needed. It's not what I felt like doing. But I know I'll do it again, of course, because it's really who I am. So.
Fly with their tails on fire, and we'll wait 1,000 years for the snow to fall again. Through the trees, see Christ on his knees. It's Christmas night, but it's 21 degrees, and we'll wait 1,000 years for the snow to fall again. birds fly to pink red sky and wait 1,000 years for the snow to fall again. We'll wait 1,000 years for the snow to fall.
My influences, they're very wide. For one, I have to say I'm a big horror fan, so horror from the 80s, that's my thing, totally. So even in the new pictures, you still can find elements that are inspired from some of these classic films. Apart from film, music have a big influence in my work. I play music during the photo shoots. I play music during the creation of, of the photos and when I'm just sketching the ideas. So music puts me in the mood and helps me to, understand my emotions and create. So the music that I listen to also is quite eclectic. For one, I really love metal and rock, hard rock. But I can also listen to pop music. It just depends on the mood and the moment. In fact, in one of my photo shoots, we can be playing, a Lana Del Rey song, and right after a Rammstein song. And this contrast, I think it shows in my work. Regarding the fine artists, my favorite photographer is Araki, the Japanese photographer. I love his work. In fact, I have an original piece in my house. So yeah, I'm a big fan of him. But there's many others. And I keep finding new inspirations constantly, And probably I haven't said, but my biggest inspiration is life itself. Family, friends, close ones, their experiences, the things they share with me, things that happen. That's probably what inspires me the most, really, what gives me ideas, gives me things that I want to talk about or that I want to explore further. So. Oh, absolutely. Ever since I was a child, they always provided me with the tools that I needed to develop this side of me, whether they were like painting materials or art lessons, whatever I needed, I have to say that, well, maybe when I was a teenager and I decided to study arts instead of, I don't know, something more practical like medicine or whatever, probably they will have prefer me to rather, choose something else. Over the years, they have become more involved with what I do, to the point that my first exhibition in Spain was in Madrid, and they organized it. I was in China, I couldn't go, they did the whole thing. Well, my brother was the one hanging the pictures without any experience, and they did such a good job, really, really proud of them. So, yeah, they've been with me all the way. In fact, they appear in all my collections. I mean, they are my models, My family and my close friends, my childhood friends, they always participate in my pictures. I cannot imagine doing a collection without them. It's not my work, it's not me. For one, they understand me very well, so they know exactly what I want. with me explaining very little. I feel very comfortable. I have fun working with them. My new collection, it's all them, and I love it. I mean, they bring soul into it. You know, they bring heart, and something that, as professional as a model can be, you know, if you don't have that connection, it wouldn't just be the same thing. Maybe the only person who didn't participate in my pictures was my father. Yeah. And there's a reason why, and I relate to that. I guess he didn't like to see himself in the pictures, because otherwise he was very supportive of my work, really. He was very proud of what I was doing. He was always interested in when I was having an exhibition. Well, he did come to my exhibition in China, all the way from Spain. So he was very supportive, but he never participated. Little did he know, you know, after his passing, I dedicated a whole book to him. So now he's part of my work too. I just hope he's not mad about it. But overall, I have to say, I'm very lucky. You know, my family and friends are very supportive, and yeah, they are my rock, really.
And I thought I was so damn sure.
Well, the title itself, Dream On, We're Almost Home, it comes from a sentence that my father used to say to me. You know, every time I get on a car, I don't know why, I immediately fall asleep. I don't know if it's the movement, if it's the radio on, I don't know what it is, but I immediately fall asleep. So my father, he used to say to me, hey, wake up, we're almost home. So after my father's passing, there was one night, I was in bed, and suddenly I just heard his voice saying, wake up, we're almost home. And you know, I just got up from the bed, shaken, because he just felt so real, you know, like he was there. And he kind of like whispered it. It wasn't in his normal tone. So I played with that sentence. I changed the wake up for dream on, because that's what probably was, you know, a dream. After my father passed, then the pandemic hit, and I got in lockdown here in China now for 3 years, that I couldn't travel to see my family who are in Spain. So, and during those 3 years, my dogs died. First the girl, Pen Pen, and then the boy, Leo. And two of my best friends lost their parents too. Plus the millions of people who died during the pandemic, and you know, and the news, the constant news and information hitting through TV, radio, media. So it was a really hard time. I got very depressed. But I kept working in these pictures, in this book. I kind of knew what I was talking about in my work, but I wasn't that conscious. It's with time that I know more clearly what I was doing, right? What I was doing was trying to find solace in the idea of possible afterlife. You know, I'm not religious, so I cannot hold on to that. So I had to find a way to make myself believe or think that I'm gonna see my loved ones again somewhere, somehow, sometime. Just don't have it very clear how. During this period, dreams played a big part on the whole process. At the beginning, dreams were devastating. Every time I dreamed with my father or my dogs, I will wake up completely broken. And that feeling was awful and will not leave me, at least for a day. But it's funny, now with time, it's the opposite. Every time I dream with my father or, with my dogs, that's such a warm feeling. That's good, because I get to see them again. So these dreams ultimately made it onto the book somehow. There's one dream concretely that made it literally into a picture of the book, in the last picture of the book. And the rest inspired pictures of the book. They are not literal, but I took elements that I dreamt about. So when you, at first glance, you see the book and you think, well, this is a happy book, because there's the warm colors, there's the flowers, the fish, the children. And yes, it is a happy book. But there's this other side, that it's the grief, the loss, the absence. All in all, I have to say, this book does not pretend to be any guide for self-help. It's not that. I mean, I wish I could help people, but I can't even help myself. Why would I even be trying to help others? It is an exploration of, what is dealing with these feelings, with grief and loss. And the only thing that is helping me and that I put very heavily into this book is cherishing the good memories that we share with people. So that's why a big part of this book is so warm, because life can be very warm, People maybe leave, but they also spend all this time with you, and those memories are not erased. Those things did happen, Maybe the ending is bitter, but how about everything behind, everything that they left for you, all those great moments. So, in a nutshell, yeah, that's my book. It's really life itself,
I'll be watering flowers. I'll be making tea.
At the end of the journey, it all comes down to choices. And I have made mine. I choose to believe that when it's time and we reach the final dream, everyone you loved and cared is waiting on the other side. That home is where the heart is, and it just keeps growing with time. And with this certainty, this is how I'll go when the time is right.
What's next? Well, I don't know. I mean, there's no clear plan. I do have a project in mind, but I kind of I hesitate to even say it, because every time you plan something, it goes sideways or blows in your face. So you never know but I do have something in mind. It might go back into darker territories, or it might not. Also, you never know, because once you start doing it, it evolves and blooms and it turns into something else. So, but still, who knows? We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Life happens and it's unpredictable. I just hope there's something new, and we'll have to just wait and see.
Don't worry, yes I know you're mad because I'm on my own. It won't last, it won't grow, so I go and walk alone. So follow the rhythm, follow the heart. You know when to worry or when not to start. So if I ever wonder where I should go, I will always follow, will follow you. I keep moving when I'm gone. Don't stop, time will go on and on. If you're lost, I'm your light, and I know you'll be alright. So follow the rhythm, follow the heart. You know when to worry or when not to start. So if I ever wonder where I should go, I will always follow, will follow you. Will always follow, will follow you. Will always follow, I will follow you. So follow the rhythm, follow the heart. You know when to worry or when not to start. So if I ever wonder where I should